The smartest person you know probably makes terrible decisions. High IQ doesn't equal good judgment. In fact, intelligence can make you dumber. I'm exposing the intelligence paradox, why being smart actually sabotages your decision-making, and what to do about it. If you're intelligent, you need to hear this. Welcome back to Psych Insights. Society tells us that smart people make smart decisions. That's a lie. Some of the worst decisions in history were made by geniuses. Financial crashes led by brilliant economists. Failing companies run by MBA graduates. Smart people dating obvious red flags. Intelligence and wisdom are not the same thing. I'm breaking down the 5 reasons why high intelligence actually sabotages decision-making, and how to think smarter, not just be smarter. Let's decode this paradox. Reason number 1. Intelligent people overthink everything into paralysis. Your brain is powerful, that's your strength. But it's also your weakness, because a powerful brain doesn't just analyze options, it creates infinite options, then analyzes those, then creates more. You're stuck in analysis paralysis while less intelligent people just act and win. Here's what happens. You're deciding between 2 job offers. A less intelligent person weighs 3 factors: pay, location, growth. Done. Decision made. They move forward. You're weighing 17 factors, then imagining 17 alternate timelines for each choice, then researching 17 more considerations. 6 weeks later, both offers expired. You're still analyzing. Intelligence gives you the ability to see every angle, but every angle includes worst-case scenarios, edge cases, and hypotheticals that will probably never happen. Your brain mistakes thoroughness for wisdom. It's not. It's just fear wearing an intellectual costume. Studies show that highly intelligent people take longer to make decisions and are less satisfied with their choices afterward, because they're haunted by the paths not taken. They calculated all the possibilities. They know exactly what they're missing. Less intelligent people don't. They're happier. The smarter you are, the better you are at justifying inaction. I need more data. Let me think about this more. I'm not ready yet. These sound rational. They're not. They're procrastination disguised as prudence. Meanwhile, someone with half your IQ made the decision, learned from it, and moved on to the next one. Reason number 2. Intelligence creates arrogance, and arrogance creates blind spots. When you're used to being the smartest person in the room, you stop listening. You stop questioning yourself. You assume that if you thought it, it must be right. That's intellectual arrogance, and it destroys judgment. Smart people fall for scams. Why? Because they think they're too smart to be fooled, so they don't look for the trick. They assume they'd see it if it were there. That assumption is the trick. The con artist knows that intelligent people are the easiest marks because they underestimate threats to their ego. Financial bubbles are driven by smart people. The dot-com crash, led by brilliant engineers and investors who convinced themselves this time is different. The 2008 housing crisis, caused by Ivy League-educated bankers who built mathematical models so complex that they forgot they were still just guesses. Intelligence let them create sophisticated justifications for stupid decisions. Here's the mechanism. Intelligence gives you the tools to rationalize anything. You can construct a logical argument for almost any position. So when your ego wants something, your intelligence builds the case. You're not thinking critically, you're thinking defensively. You're protecting your conclusion, not testing it. Less intelligent people are more likely to ask for help. They know their limits. Intelligent people think asking for help means admitting weakness. So they figure it out alone, making mistakes that others could have prevented. Pride dressed up as self-reliance. The smarter you are, the better you are at fooling yourself. You can construct elaborate justifications for bad decisions and genuinely believe them. Your intelligence becomes a weapon against your own judgment. Reason number 3. Intelligent people overcomplicate simple problems. Your brain craves complexity. Simple solutions feel boring. They feel beneath you. So you create complicated solutions to prove your intelligence. But complexity for complexity's sake is stupidity. Business example. A smart entrepreneur has a simple product that works, but simple feels unsophisticated. So they add features, then more features. Then they pivot to something innovative. 3 years later, the product is a mess. A less intelligent competitor kept it simple and dominated the market. Relationships. Intelligent people analyze their partner's every action, searching for hidden meanings. What did they mean by that text? Why did they say it that way? Sometimes a text is just a text, but your brain needs to find the complexity, so it invents problems that don't exist. Occam's razor states that the simplest explanation is usually correct, but intelligent people hate that. They want the complex explanation because it makes them feel smart. So they miss obvious truths while chasing elaborate theories. This shows up in communication. Smart people use complicated language to explain simple concepts. They think it makes them sound intelligent. It doesn't. It makes them unclear. Steve Jobs was a genius. He explained technology in terms a child could understand. That's actual intelligence. The smartest solutions are simple, but simple doesn't feel smart. So intelligent people reject simplicity and choose complexity, then wonder why their overcomplicated plans fail while someone else's simple approach succeeds. Reason number 4. Intelligent people think they're purely logical. They're not. They just hide their emotions better. You pride yourself on rational thinking. You believe you make decisions based on logic and data. Here's the truth. You don't. You make decisions emotionally, then use your intelligence to rationalize them. Everyone does. But smart people are the last to realize it. Studies in neuroscience show that patients with damage to emotional processing centers can't make decisions at all. Emotions aren't the opposite of logic. They're the foundation. You feel first, then think. But intelligent people deny this. They think they've transcended emotion through intelligence. That's the ultimate emotional decision, choosing to believe you're not emotional. Dating example. Smart people date terrible partners and don't see it. Why? Because they intellectualize the relationship. Yes, they're toxic, but they're interesting. They challenge me. It's complicated. No, you're attracted to them emotionally and using your intelligence to justify staying. A less intelligent person just says, "This person treats me badly," and leaves. Career decisions. You take a job that pays well but makes you miserable. Your intelligence builds the case. The experience is valuable. I'm building skills. It's strategic for my resume. You're lying to yourself. You're scared of change, and your intelligence is protecting your fear. The problem is that intelligent people trust their rationalizations. When you're good at building logical arguments, you believe your own arguments. You think, "I reasoned my way to this conclusion, therefore it must be sound." But if the foundation was emotional and you don't recognize that, your brilliant reasoning is built on feelings you're denying. Less intelligent people are more in touch with their emotions because they haven't learned to intellectualize them away. They trust their gut. Sometimes that gut is wiser than your overthought analysis. Reason number 5. Intelligence makes you better at pattern recognition. But sometimes you see patterns that aren't there. Your brain is a pattern-matching machine. That's what intelligence is. The ability to see connections, predict outcomes, and extrapolate from limited data. But that same ability makes you see patterns in randomness. Conspiracy theories are believed by smart people. Flat earthers aren't idiots, they're people who are good at connecting dots. They just connect dots that shouldn't be connected. Their intelligence lets them build elaborate frameworks that feel coherent. The problem isn't lack of intelligence, it's misapplied intelligence. Investors fall for this constantly. A stock goes up 3 times. Smart investors see a pattern. They predict it will go up again. They build models based on past data. Then it crashes. The pattern wasn't real. It was variance. But intelligence is so good at pattern finding that it finds patterns in noise. In relationships, intelligent people see patterns in their partner's behavior and predict problems that never materialize. They did this thing twice. That must mean something. Sometimes twice is just twice. Not everything is a pattern. This ties into superstition. Athletes with high pattern recognition abilities develop elaborate pre-game rituals. They wore certain socks when they won. They wore them again and won again. Their brain registers a pattern. Now they have to wear those socks or they'll lose. That's intelligent pattern matching creating irrational belief. The less intelligent person doesn't see the pattern. They just play. Sometimes missing the patterns makes you more rational because you're not chasing ghosts. So what do you do if you're intelligent and you recognize these traps? First, set decision deadlines. If you're overthinking, you need external constraints. I will decide by Friday. No exceptions. Analysis paralysis dies when time runs out. Second, seek opposing viewpoints actively. Your intelligence will defend your position. That's the problem. So force yourself to engage with people who disagree. Steelman their arguments. If you can't argue the other side convincingly, you don't understand your own position. Third, simplify deliberately. When you find yourself creating a complex solution, stop. Ask, what's the simplest version of this? Start there. Add complexity only if simple doesn't work. Fourth, acknowledge your emotions. You're not Spock. You're a human with feelings who happens to be intelligent. Name the emotion driving your decision. I'm scared of failure. I'm seeking validation. I'm trying to prove something. Once you see the emotion, your intelligence can work with it instead of against it. Fifth, decide faster. Learn faster. Stop trying to make perfect decisions. Make decent decisions quickly, implement them, and adjust based on reality. A less intelligent person who acts and learns will outpace a genius who plans forever. Intelligence is a tool. Tools don't make good decisions. You do. Use your intelligence to serve good judgment, not replace it. Here's your challenge this week. Make one decision in under 5 minutes that you'd normally overthink for days. Set a timer. Decide. Act. See what happens. Then comment below. What decision did you make, and what was the outcome? I'm reading every single one, and I want to hear your stories. Which of these 5 traps do you fall into most? Comment the number 1, 5. Let's see which one is most common. If you're tired of being smart but making dumb choices, subscribe. I'm breaking down psychology that makes you wiser, not just more intelligent. Thanks for watching. Stay wise, and I'll see you in the next one.